Reggie Clemons was one of 4 men convicted of murdering Julie and Robin Kerry, who fell to their deaths from the Chain of Rocks Bridge over the Mississippi in April 1991. He's been on death row in Missouri for 19 years.
It's like walking around with somebody pointing a gun to your head every day and telling you that I'm gonna kill you someday. I just haven't decided when. After 20 years of contemplating my execution and contemplating my death, I've accepted it.
On the evening of the 4th of April 1991, Clemons left his home in St. Louis to meet up with a group of friends. They decided to go to the Chain of Rocks Bridge, where they came across the 2 Kerry sisters and their cousin, Thomas Cummins.
We was hanging out and everything, and we left Mike's house after the hockey game and went to the bridge. We came across each other and talked to each other, had a casual conversation with one another. Friendly conversation about the bridge, talking about a movie that had been made up there. It was just a nice casual conversation, and then we parted ways.
Reggie Clemons has always maintained his innocence. He says that his confession to raping one of the sisters was beaten out of him by police officers.
I remember the police mainly beating me in the chest, and that was something that scared me a whole lot. And while they were beating me, they were telling me what they wanted me to admit to. One of their punches skipped off my shoulder and caught me in my cheek, caught me right up under my eye right here. When I started talking about, no, I'm making this statement because you're beating on me, that's when they took the tape up out of there, and they took that tape out of there and came back about 5 minutes later and started beating on me some more.
You ended up confessing to rape but not to murder?
Right.
I think a lot of people who haven't been in anything like that kind of situation would find it hard to understand how someone would confess to rape when they hadn't committed a rape, and would be disbelieving of that.
Right.
Because, like, why, knowing that it's going to get you in a lot of trouble, why would you do that? How would you try and convince, if I was that person, how would you try and convince me?
Well, if you believe that somebody's willing to beat you to death, they can, while they're beating you, they can just about get you to admit anything. I'm saying, and
why didn't you confess to murder as well then? They obviously wanted you to, so why didn't you?
I was just trying to get them up off of me. At the time, I felt like there was no other way out of this beating except to make a confession.
Despite his protestations, Reggie Clemons was put on death row in February 1993. 3 years ago, he came within 12 days of being executed. Now he has one last chance to save his own life. A special hearing in September that will ultimately decide his fate.
I know I'm not a rapist. I know I'm not a murderer or a killer. I know that I didn't do any of those things. I know that I'm innocent. Because really that's what it boils down to me, is somebody deciding who lives or who dies. And having that power, it resides with the divine.